Okay, for this pattern, you're going to start out with your slip knot and you're going to chain 22. And with bulky yarn, I like to have kind of a lot of yarn out and ready to go so that it flows nice and easy and I can get even stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 21, and 22. And for beginners, leave your foundation chain kind of loose. You don't have to make it super tight. It'll just make it hard to work back into those stitches, and it gets frustrating. So once you have 22 chained, you're going to skip this first stitch and go into the second stitch with a single crochet. And for beginners, you're going to go into that stitch, grab your yarn and pull it through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Grab your yarn and pull through both. Okay, so right into that stitch, pull that yarn through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. So we're going to do those, and you're going to have 21 stitches when you're done. And I will see you when I'm at my 21st stitch. And 21. At the end of this row, make sure you have 21 stitches because the count on this square really, really matters. So at the end of the row, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Then you're going to do it again, another 21 single crochets all the way across. This time you're going to start right into that first chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll see you when I get to the end. 20. Don't forget this one, last one. 21. When you get to the end of this row, you're going to chain 1 and turn and do it one more time. So you're going to have 3 rows of single crochets all the way across. Just make sure your stitch count stays at 21. And I'll see you when I'm done with this row. 20 and 21. And we're going to chain 1 and turn. That's what it looks like so far. I still think single crochets make such a pretty pattern. This one, we're going to do our first bobble. So on your heart, just keep this in mind. When you're doing this square, you're working from the bottom up, bottom up. So we're going to do this. Okay, so we're going to start with our first bobble. You're going to single crochet 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to do a bobble stitch. So yarn over, go through this 11th stitch here, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through just 2. Okay, and then you'll have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go right back into that same stitch, right back in. Yarn over and pull through. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2, leaving 3 loops on your hook. We're going to do this till we have 6 loops on our hook, which is 5 times through the hole. So 6 loops on the hook. Yarn over through that stitch again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through that stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through just 2. You're at 5 on the hook now. Yarn over through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Now at this point you should have 6 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, and I always, when I have to pull through all of these loops like this, I always turn my hook down like that and kind of put the pressure up on the top of the loops, like I'm pulling up like that. And then you pull through all of those loops. And sometimes in other patterns, when you do a bobble stitch, you'll yarn over and pull through that loop. You're not going to do this on this one. We're going to just go right into that next chain space and do a single crochet. And then finish off single crocheting all the way, the rest of the way across. And at the end of the row, I'm going to count my stitches just to make sure I still have 21. And I'm going to show you how these stitches, because they're kind of funny looking and long, how those count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And I just, when I started doing these, I just kept counting. I just kept making sure I was always at 21. So at the end of this, where you made your bobble, you're going to chain 1 and turn. And that's when you're going to see that bobble stitch, because it'll only poke out on one side. And the other side stays nice and flat. So this is definitely a right side, wrong side kind of blanket. Now you're going to chain 1 and turn and single crochet into each stitch across, 21 of them. And kind of the rule of thumb is when you're looking at the side with the bobbles out, you're always going to do a row of single crochet all the way across. When you get to this bobble, I want to show you how that kind of looks. When you get to the bobble, you're going to see these loops, right? You got to kind of turn your bobble in. You're going to see this one, that is a stitch. You're going to see this really wide one, that is a stitch. And then don't forget the one after that, which is this. It can get a little bit skinny, but you're going to want to go in there too and do one. So like your bobble has, basically, I always say, remember there's 3 stitches there. Don't miss any. And then you're going to continue on with your single crochets all the way across. And I'll see you when we get there. We get through both of those. 21. Oops. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now you're working on the back side, and this is always the back side that's flat is where we're going to actually work the bobbles. The bobbles just poke out to the other side. I hope that's making sense. So in this row, you're going to single crochet 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in that 9th one, we're going to do a bobble. That's 1 yarn over, 2, 2, 2, until we have 6 loops on our hook. Remember to always pull through the 2. Don't try to count 6 before you pull through. So I've got 6, yarn over, pull through all of them. And then you're going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to do another bobble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you go through that stitch 5 times, you end up with 6 loops on your hook. Go through all 6 and then proceed to go all the way to the end of the row with single crochets. I'll meet you there. And 21. Chain 1 and turn. And remember that when you're on this side where the bobbles are, you're always going to go across with single crochets. 21 single crochets across. It's a good time to make sure your stitch count is right and just an easy row. 14. And 21. Trying to curl. Do that. Let some yarn out here. I like to have at least a row's worth of yarn pulled out. You're going to chain 1 and turn. And this is another bobble row. So we're going to go in and we're going to do 8 single crochets. And what you'll notice about this pattern is you're going to go down by 2. So you're going to go 10 and then a bobble. The next time that you do a bobble row, it's going to be 8 and then a bobble, and then a 6 and then a bobble. So it goes down by 2. So this one, we're on 6. Sorry, I think I said 8, but we're on 6. 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a bobble, yarn over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go through all of them, and then you're going to, what I do is I count 6 from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna end with 6 left on the end. So I know this is the one I want to go into. Or I want to single crochet into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to make sure I'm in the right place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one should be, the 7th one should be where we put the bobble. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should have 6 single crochets left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1 and turn your work. See how that's ended up nice and even. And then you're going to do your row of single crochet all the way across. (20) and 21. Chain 1 and turn. And now you're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a bobble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember to do those till you have 6 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. And like I said, I do these across until I get close to this bobble. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm right at the bobble, and I want 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go into this one right here to make a bobble. So I got one more single crochet to go. And then I'm going to make a bobble stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, pull through all of those 6 loops. And then you're going to do 4 single crochets to finish out the row. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1 and turn, and do your row of 21 single crochets all the way across. Isn't that turning out nice? It's really not that difficult. (20) and 21. Chain 1 and turn. And this row, you're going to do 2 single crochets and a bobble. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to proceed with your single crochets after that. So you get close to that other bobble. And I'm only telling you the way I do it because it's just the easiest way instead of counting all these stitches in between. When you get to the next bobble, you're going to want to check where you're at and then count backwards from the end of your row to make sure your placement is right on target for your bobble. It's just the easiest way I know how. You can get your counts off the other way. So I'm at my bobble. 1, 2. This is where I want my bobbles in that third one. So I always seem to go right when I have one more left to go. So we're going to do a bobble in this. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull through and do 2 single crochets to finish out the row. Chain 1 and turn. So from here, your bobbles are going to go straight up. So this is where we're at so far. We're here. We're like halfway done. Pretty cool. And then we're going to line up these 2, and then we're going to start doing these. So pay attention to the next few rounds, or in the next few rows. So pay attention to the next few rows because the bobbles are going to get more frequent. But right now, we're just worried about doing our single crochets all the way across the front side. I feel like I could work up a blanket really quick, especially just a baby blanket. 20 and 21. Chain 1 and turn. And for this one, we are going to do the exact same thing. We're going to go in with 2 single crochets and then our bobble, or puff stitch. People call it different things. I call it a bobble stitch. Five. And you'll notice that what I've noticed in the crochet world is that everybody calls the stitches something different. So watch more of the method that you're being taught than the name, because people will say puff stitch, bobble stitch, popcorn stitch. They'll say a lot of different stitch names. So just watch their method and see which one they're teaching you to do. Because I have seen multiple things where they call them different. So I have to kind of just watch what they're doing. Okay. Now I can tell there's my 2 stitches that I want to leave. So right here is going to be my bobble stitch. Whoops. I don't like my loops to cross over. 3, 4. And then finish off with 2 single crochets, chain 1 and turn. Now this one, 20 and 21, chain 1 and turn. And this is the row we're going to add this center bobble in. So we're getting closer to being done with our heart. It's moving along really quick, but you're going to add that middle bobble. So we're going to do some counting this time, and you're going to do 2 single crochets, then your bobble. I'm wrestling with my yarn today, wrestling, and it's fighting back. So bobble, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then you're going to do 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Into the 8th one, we're going to do a bobble. And you're going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the 8th one, you're going to put your bobble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, my dryer is telling me that it's done. That's great timing. Then you're going to finish off with 2 single crochets at the end, chain 1 and turn. And then you're going to go across with your single crochets. Make sure your stitch count is still 21 every time you do that.